Shall we begin?
Hey there, boys and girls. Welcome to the backyard. It's Bob Kearns, the Unsung photographer. And I had mentioned to you, we did a little tutorial on how to resize pictures in Lightroom last time. Kind of a head in the corner kind of a thing. And I also mentioned that coming up we were going to do some talking about film. Now, film has sort of popped up in popularity. It's become sort of a niche thing. Something a lot of folks are giving a try for the first time. Some of the old timers like myself are going back to it because there's a certain aesthetic about film. There's a certain change in the process. There's a certain slowing down and paying attention to what you're doing, and there's a certain reward punishment increase in film photography. The reason being, when you shoot a roll of film, if you screw it up, it costs you, I don't know, $6 for the roll of film, and whatever it costs you to get it developed, if you're sending it away, that could be another $11 to $20. So that's a chunk of change to be thrown out the window if you're not paying attention, or you make a mistake, or you do something stupid, or you know, the whole learning curve. Digital, on the other hand, is an easier learning curve. I can't deny that. However, it's also a learning curve that doesn't encourage discipline, because you can take literally thousands of pictures and then just go look at them later, and then everybody goes, oh, we'll fix it in Photoshop. Well, if you've got a modern camera and you have it in auto mode, chances are you're going to get some decent photographs after shooting thousands. So, you know, that's one way to go. And of course, I still shoot digital. Any commercial work I have to do, or anything somebody hires me to do, or I shoot digital. It's just a matter of turnaround time and what the product is the customer wants. So I'm not knocking digital, but if you're interested or loosely amazed by all these people talking about film, I thought we should go over a couple of different kinds of film cameras. And today, what I'm going to show you is the baby in this little box here. And I need to get this out of the sun, because in this front pack here is film. And it does not like to be sitting in the heat. So we're going to get that back in the fridge. This is Kodak Portrait. It's a 5-pack of 120 size film. 120 size film is the film that you see shot in the square format and larger rectangular formats, like 6 centimeters by 4.5 centimeters, so 645. You'll see that number around. But there are basically several different kinds of film cameras and several different kinds of film. Let's go ahead and open this up again. This, I've got an exposed roll in here I don't want to take out into the sun. This is medium format film, 120 film. 120 film in a 6 by 6 centimeter format gets you 12 pictures. There used to be a 220 film, which is exactly the same size but longer, right? And you could get twice as many photographs. You get 24 on a roll. Unfortunately, they just don't make that anymore. So you have to deal with that too. There are a lot of film stocks that have gone away, but there are other film stocks that are coming back that are very high quality and very good to use. And we'll go over, we'll do an episode on just film and film types at some point. But for right now that you understand that, I'm going to show you our baby here. Oh, and it's big! Look at the size of this thing. It's not as big as my head, but it's close. It weighs as much. This, let me crack the case open here. You don't find these cases very often. Is a Mamiya, or Mamiya, depending upon how you pronounce it, C330 Professional. This is a late 70s baby, and it is a TLR, twin lens reflex. So you can tell it's got twin lenses, an upper and a bottom, one being the viewing and focusing lens and the other one being the taking lens, or the one that leads to the surface of the film. There's a roll of film in here right now, so I'm not going to crack it open, but I want you to see it. There are other videos on the interwebs that will show you all the intimate details of this particular camera. But I want to talk about, I'll give you a quick overview, and then I want to talk about the experience of shooting with one of these, and whether or not it's something that you might be interested in, because it's pretty cool. Well, you can see the case is fairly elaborate. It's all metal and leather, and I don't know if you can see it, but on the bottom knob there, there's you could screw this right on top of a tripod. There's also a tripod mount on the bottom of the camera, which would be my preference. Really gorgeous, glinty, beautiful piece of equipment, and it's heavy and it's sturdy. It has a bellows focusing system. Wow, look at how wide that goes out. So you can do close-ups with this very nicely. You can do multiple exposures, single or multiple if you're feeling that way. It's got some cool features to help you deal with parallax. Parallax is a magical word which means the two lenses are separated by space. So the closer you are, you know, the more inaccurate it is. If I'm looking at this and I'm close up, you can see that the taking lens is way off. So they have a needle inside here that moves up and down as you roll this out and give you an idea where the top of your frame is. They also have a little gadget you can buy, and you ready for this word? It's called a paramender. And what that does is it goes on top of a tripod, and then you put this on top of that, and you can go in and focus and get it all ready, and then you turn this thing and it lifts the camera up. So this taking lens sees what you used to see in the viewing lens. You take a photograph by clicking here, here, here. There's a bunch of different ways to do it. So it's pretty flexible. It creates a square frame, just like Hasselblads and a lot of other medium format cameras. Your Rollei's and a lot of other fancy stuff, TLR land. But this particular camera I like because it's way less expensive than the Rollei's. It has beautiful lenses for it, which are removable. So unlike the Rollei, which you get one lens and you love it or leave it, there's another knob over here that says lock and unlock. And when I've unlocked it, oh, that's not the one. I'm turning the wrong knob, okay. I'm all of them allowed. You turn this and it's unlocked. Now if I want to, I can flip a lever here. See that spring pop up? I shouldn't do that. And then this whole lens comes right off. And you can buy different ones. This is a 105 millimeter. You can of course buy an 80 millimeter, which is a normal field of view for a medium format camera. And I'll put this back on lock. Beautiful as that is. The shutter is in the lens. So this will sync up to its highest shutter speed of 1/500th of a second, so it's good for a studio. It really is built as a professional camera. It has a couple of other cool features. It has your look through the top viewfinder, or waist level viewfinder they're called. And it's like looking at a little TV on a bright day like this. It's absolutely amazing. It has a little pop-up magnifier, so you can get critical focus. In other words, if it's too far away, you can go in and really focus in tight with this particular gizmo. Works really well. And the other cool thing this has, if you're really crazy, man, is you can pop this down and look through this square in the back, and you've got a sports finder. So if you're doing something that's got a lot of action, you don't have time, you just sort of like focus on an area and bang, crank, bang, crank, bang. It's still not super speedy, but that's their version of a sports finder. Touch this, that pops up. Push this back down. It's a little bit of a Rube Goldberg thing. And put that down, and there's your finder. It's all sealed up. And then, of course, you want to protect those bellows, so you roll that back when you're done. 12 pictures. This is, I just put this roll of film in here yesterday. It's on one. We have a roll to develop, and I'll show you some of those at the end of the video. Once I get those developed, I do all that in the bathroom. I can do color or black and white, doesn't matter. It's not hard. If you're interested, ask. We can go over how that works, or if you want details, feel free to ask. But that's the Mamiya, or Mamiya C330 Professional. This is a TLR camera. These are way less expensive than a roller. You can probably pick a nice one in nice shape like this for maybe $300 or $400. If that sounds like a lot to you, it's not. When you consider a D850 is, I don't know, $3,200, and this camera is just as nice. And once you learn how to scan and develop your own film, it's very economical. It is, however, without a doubt, much slower because you have all that process involved. I would suggest, however, if you've learned how to shoot by shooting digital, that film gives you a different perspective on photography. It really drives you into the technical details to pay attention to what you're doing. And because you're slowing down, it gives you time to think about your frame. The other thing I like myself personally about the waist level viewfinder in this particular style of camera is you're not jammed up in it all the time. So when you look down, it's a lot easier to imagine this as a photograph. It's a lovely square photograph, and it's kind of nicer for composition, right? Make everything generally in focus. It doesn't have to be special. You can get your composition very nice. I really like that. It's the other reason I like my Hasselblads, and we'll do a video on those. However, that's the Mamiya C330 Professional. There's a couple of versions of this. There's a C33, there's a C22, there's a C220, there's a C330 Professional S. They're all very similar in functionality, and of course the lenses are of the finest quality. I really like the Mamiya C330 lenses. I'm surprised. They really give the Hasselblads a run for the money, in my personal opinion. Okay, I promised to show you some of the photographs from the Mamiya C330 we were talking about in the backyard. And here we are, and here we go. This is the roll of film that I finished the day before recording this. And these are just random shots as I went through small town near where I live called Bristol, Pennsylvania. And this is a little restaurant, a couple of seats out front. And this is a gallery. I have a couple of photographs in the gallery. The top one is a model named Kelda, and the bottom one is a model by the name of Bella Dimone, who is also going to be in the new in Creed 2, which is filming in Philadelphia now. So keep an eye open for her. She's pretty special. Both these ladies are, really. I haven't seen Kelda in a long time. And another shot. And this one, I damaged the film a little bit. You can see it. Now, these aren't, there's nothing done to these. These are just scanned and maybe the contrast adjusted. That's it. This is a coffee roaster in the coffee shop there in Bristol. These are four ladies that were walking down the street and thought it was a cool camera. So I took the picture. Fun. Again, you can see I haven't cleaned anything up here. It's just the way it is, a little dust. I can take that out easy enough. This didn't turn out the way I'd hoped. Somebody sitting in the coffee shop. More coffee grinder dude. There's a dude working the coffee grinder. Kind of neat, kind of soft. I kind of like it. Some motion in it because there's a little longer exposure. And another shot, street in Bristol. You can see your American flag and some of the decorative stuff. And I want to give you an idea of the resolution here. Let's look at these. Let's look at this sign here. Boop. Let's zoom in. Holy Moses. Now, this is film, right? Medium format film. And you can see the tremendous resolution here. Oh, the producers. It's a play they're going to be putting on at the Bristol Riverside Theater. But wow. Lots of detail. Very impressive. if you do the math, let's look here. 7,050 by 6,997. Let's call it 7,000 by 7,000 pixels. So if we were to do the math, let's go ahead and do that. 7,000 by 7. I know some of you have done this in your head already. Wow. That's a 49 megapixel image. That's pretty impressive. And it's scanned at 3200 DPI. And another similar shot. Another kind of soft because of the fellas moving in the coffee shop. And that's it. But black and white's gorgeous, beautiful. Just cool stuff. So those are the pictures from the camera. Thanks. Okay, so that's a Mamiya C330. Again, if you have more questions, let me know. Please subscribe. I like talking about this stuff. I like showing you stuff. Here's something else I should have probably mentioned. If you're going to have one of these, there's no automatic anything. It's entirely mechanical. It takes no batteries. It's all clockwork. So you really need to go get yourself a little light meter. This is a Sekonic Flashmate L300S. I forget how much these are. I think they're like 250 bucks in that ballpark. And this one needs a new battery desperately. But let's say you don't have a flash meter, though you should. You should get one if you're going to shoot film, or especially on these cameras that don't have built-in meters. There is a Sunny 16 roll, right? So let's go over that real briefly. Sunny 16, and I'm sure you've heard this if you've talked to photographers or listened to many videos. Sunny 16 is basically the rule of thumb for exposure. And what it says is if you have film, you take the ASA or the ISO of the film, whether it's 100, 400, 800, 3200, depending upon what kind of film you bought. 160, 120, there's a lot of different kinds. You set your Sunny 16, you put your aperture at 16, okay, f16, and your shutter speed becomes 1 over the ISO of your film. So a 400 speed film would be at 1/400th of a second, at f16. On a sunny day, you'll get a nice exposure of the sky. Your shadows will be a little dark. You want to lift the shadows up a little bit, open it up a little bit. And the best way to learn that is to go get some black and white film and shoot a couple rolls and take notes. It's the other thing you should be doing. Take notes when you shoot. You're shooting film. You will find it invaluable to have some information because, again, it's not digital. There's no metadata built into the negative. It's all on you. And it makes you a more disciplined and a better quality photographer, I think, over time. It's a good thing to give a go. So, okay, guys, subscribe. Please. I thank you to those folks that have subscribed lately, and we're over 1,000 subscribers. Yay! I guess that's not much really in YouTube land, but it's important to me, and I thank you very, very much. So we'll see you next time. Bob Kearns, the Unsung Photographer. Go to my website, look at my work. Know who you're listening to. Have a good one. Bye.
Shall we begin?